Chosen one. God has chosen you to become the first millionaire in your bloodline. There is a moment in every bloodline when heaven decides enough is enough, when the cycles of struggle, scarcity, and silent suffering can no longer be permitted to continue. And whether you fully realize it or not, that moment has arrived in your lineage, and the mantle has fallen on you. Something is shifting around you with a force that feels almost otherworldly, as if an unseen hand has been rearranging the pieces of your life for years, preparing you for a breakthrough so unprecedented that even your ancestors could not have imagined it. You are not just moving into a new chapter, you are stepping into a divine assignment that will change the financial destiny of everyone connected to your name. You are the chosen one, and God is about to turn you into the first millionaire in your bloodline. Maybe you have felt it in the quiet moments when your spirit grows restless. Maybe you've sensed it during nights when sleep refused to come, because something in your soul whispered that you were meant for more than the life you've been living. And maybe, just maybe, you have carried a strange weight on your shoulders, a burden that never quite belonged to you, but felt inherited, passed down through generations of people who tried their best with what they had, but were never given the spiritual clearance to elevate to the level God is preparing you for. The financial ceilings they hit were never meant to contain you. The scarcity mindsets they carried were never meant to define you. Their battles may have shaped your beginnings, but they will not shape your future. Your life has not been easy. You've known the sting of being misunderstood. You've endured seasons where the people you trusted the most became sources of unexpected betrayal. You've survived environments where your gifts were ignored, your potential was doubted, and your heart was taken advantage of. Yet for reasons you couldn't explain then, you always rose again. Even when you felt completely broken, something inside you kept fighting. That resilience was never accidental. It was evidence of the divine fingerprint on your life, proof that God had already chosen you long before anyone ever tried to count you out. The truth is, chosen ones rarely look like their assignment in the beginning. You didn't look like someone destined to break generational poverty. You didn't look like someone who would one day carry financial authority, influence, and resources that stretch far beyond your own needs. You didn't look like the one who would rewrite the story of your entire family. But heaven knew, God saw beyond the struggle, beyond the mistakes, beyond the mess, beyond every moment where you questioned your worth. He saw the strength hiding in the silent corners of your spirit. He saw the purity of your intentions, even when others misjudged you. And he saw the kind of heart that could be trusted with abundance, the kind of soul that would use wealth not just to elevate self, but to lift others. There were seasons when you wondered why the attacks were so intense. Why did you have to deal with people speaking against you? Why were you placed in situations that forced you to learn survival at an early spiritual age? Why did you experience losses that seemed unfair, setbacks that felt unnecessary, and delays that stretched your faith to its breaking point? Because God was shaping you. He was refining your character, sharpening your discernment, and fortifying your spirit. Before he could trust you with millions, he had to teach you how to survive with little. Before he could send you into abundance, he had to ensure you would never worship the resources more than the source. There is a sacred loneliness that follows the chosen ones. It is not the loneliness of isolation, but the loneliness of elevation, the kind that separates you not to punish you, but to prepare you. You were not meant to walk the same path as everyone else, because your destiny is not like everyone else's. People may have walked away from you, but their absence created spiritual room for what God is bringing in. Opportunities may have slipped through your fingers, but their loss made space for something far greater. Nothing in your life was wasted, not a single tear, not a single heartbreak, not a single delay. Every fragment of your journey was orchestrated to bring you to this moment. And now heaven is whispering a new decree over your life. You will be the first millionaire in your bloodline. This is not simply about money. This is about destiny. This is about the breaking of generational spiritual contracts that kept your family trapped in cycles of not enough. This is about God choosing you to demonstrate His power publicly, to show that He can raise up someone who was overlooked, underestimated, and counted out, and turn them into a living example of divine elevation. You are not rising for selfish reasons. You are rising as evidence that when God chooses a soul, nothing and no one can stop what is written. Look back at your life for a moment. Notice the patterns. Notice how every time something was meant to destroy you, it somehow shifted you closer to purpose. Notice how you walked through seasons that should have made you bitter, yet you came out wiser. Notice how you faced circumstances that could have broken your spirit, yet your spirit is stronger than ever. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. You have been in divine training for years, often without realizing it, and now the training is complete. The weight you have carried, the wounds you have healed from, the storms you survived, these were all prerequisites for the life God is unlocking for you now. What is coming to you will not resemble anything you have experienced before. You are about to witness divine acceleration, the kind of movement that makes people ask how you rose so quickly, how doors opened for you that remained shut for generations, how opportunities found you even when you stopped searching. You are not walking into luck, you are walking into prophecy. God is not guessing with your life, He is fulfilling a promise. And as this new season begins to unfold, your spirit will recognize it instantly. Something will click inside you. Something will awaken. Something will say, "This is what all the pain was preparing me for." You are the chosen one in your bloodline. And heaven is preparing to lift you financially, spiritually, and energetically into a dimension your family has never touched. Your journey is about to prove that the first millionaire in a bloodline is not the one with the most resources, but the one with the most spiritual endurance, faith, and obedience. And you, without even realizing it, have already passed every test. You have walked through battles that most people will never understand, and yet you carried them with a quiet grace. The scars you bear are not just marks from your past. They are proof of a spiritual strength that was forged in fire. When you look back at your journey, you can see how nothing came easily, how every step forward demanded sacrifice, resilience, and a kind of endurance that could only be born from divine shaping. You didn't simply survive those seasons. You were strengthened by them, even in the moments when you felt your spirit trembling under the weight. Every battle you faced was a confirmation of who you are becoming, and now those same battles are the reason you are rising. There were times when you wondered why your life seemed to encounter more resistance than others. Why did simple things become complex? Why did people turn into adversaries without provocation? Why did opportunities fall apart at the very last moment? It is because your journey was never ordinary. Ordinary destinies face ordinary obstacles, but chosen ones, those marked by God for elevation, face a different kind of warfare. You were walking through spiritual terrain that required you to confront forces, both seen and unseen. Your blessings were always going to be significant, so the opposition against you had to be intense. You weren't just fighting for yourself. You were fighting for the generations before you and the generations that will come after you. Think about the moments when life pushed you to your breaking point. Those dark nights when you questioned everything. Those silent mornings when you felt like you had nothing left to give. Those stretches of time when you were surrounded by people, yet felt spiritually alone. You didn't realize it then, but heaven was watching you closely. God was studying your endurance, your integrity, your ability to keep your heart clean even while walking through deep disappointment. He was noting every instance in which you chose faith over fear, compassion over anger, purpose over chaos. These choices were not small. They were spiritual milestones. They became the evidence God needed to justify elevating you to a realm that your adversaries never believed you would reach. Your spiritual battles were not random. They were allowed because you were being refined into someone who could carry wealth without being corrupted by it. You were learning how to discern people's intentions. You were learning how to protect your energy. You were learning how to stand up for yourself, how to cut ties with those who drained you, how to recognize wolves disguised as friends. These lessons were critical because the elevation that is approaching you will amplify every part of your life. Success does not change people, it reveals them. And God needed to prepare you for the truth that more blessing means more exposure. If you had risen earlier, before the healing, before the awakening, before the spiritual clarity, you would have been surrounded by the wrong people, tied to the wrong alliances, and unprepared for the magnitude of your purpose. You may not have realized it, but your adversaries were never fighting you because of who you were in the moment. They were fighting because of who you were destined to become. Even before you stepped into your power, the spiritual world could see the glow of your calling. People sensed something different about you, something they couldn't name but could feel. Your presence alone exposed their insecurities. Your resilience disrupted their expectations. Your spirit made some people uncomfortable because it mirrored the potential they refused to embrace in themselves. That discomfort turned into jealousy, and jealousy turned into resistance. But even in their efforts to tear you down, they unknowingly pushed you closer to God. The truth is, they never expected you to survive the things you went through. They thought the betrayal would break you. They believed the financial struggles would discourage you. They assumed the loneliness would weaken you. But instead, every hardship strengthened your connection to the divine. You learned to pray when you had no one to talk to. You learned to trust God when earthly solutions ran out. You learned to walk by faith at a level that few people ever achieve. And now the very people who once doubted you are sensing a shift they can't explain. They can feel the energy around you changing. They can feel the spiritual weight you now carry. They can feel the rise coming before you even announce it. Make no mistake, your adversaries are trembling. They may never admit it, but internally they know something is happening. The same mouths that once gossiped about you are now silent. The same people who underestimated you are watching you more closely than ever. They don't understand how you're still standing, how you're still moving, how you're still believing, and that confusion is unsettling them, because deep down they know what is true. God has kept you, and He is not done with you. Your name is being spoken in rooms where your feet have not yet stepped. Doors that were once sealed are beginning to unlock. Opportunities that once ignored you are turning back in your direction. What you lost is being restored in a higher form. Everything that was stolen is being returned with interest. And your enemies, those who mocked you, doubted you, betrayed you, and worked against you, will have no choice but to witness your rise. Not because you seek revenge, but because God is about to vindicate you. Heaven is preparing a moment of elevation so significant that it will rewrite your reputation, redefine your identity, and reshape the trajectory of your life. People who dismissed you will wonder how you gained such momentum. Those who counted you out will marvel at how effortlessly breakthroughs begin to align. And those who secretly hoped for your downfall will be confronted with the truth that they never had authority over your destiny. You are stepping into a season where your spirit will feel lighter, your vision clearer, and your path more divinely orchestrated. God has watched every tear you cried, every night you stayed up praying, every time you kept going when everything inside you wanted to quit. None of it was wasted. Your faith has stood as a beacon in the spiritual realm, and heaven is responding to it with movement that will shock even you. This rise you are stepping into, it is not quiet, it is not hidden, it is not gradual. God is elevating you in a way that will make both the spiritual world and the physical world take notice. Those who once opposed you will feel the shift. Those who doubted you will recognize the truth. And those who betrayed you will realize they misjudged someone who was divinely protected the entire time. You have endured the battles. You have proven your strength. And now the atmosphere around you is vibrating with divine promise. The breakthrough is already unfolding, and your ascent is inevitable. Heaven has already decreed your rise. There is a point in a chosen one's journey when God no longer hides what he is doing behind the scenes. The quiet restoration, the private strengthening, the silent rebuilding of your inner world. All of that was necessary for the earlier chapters of your life. But now the season has shifted. What was once concealed is about to be revealed. What God protected in darkness is now being prepared for the light. And this revelation will not be subtle. It will not be quiet. It will not be hidden from the people who once doubted his presence in your story. You are entering a time when God is about to display his justice openly, and your elevation will serve as the proof. This is not only about financial transformation, it is about the restoration of your spiritual dignity. For too long, you endured situations where people misinterpreted your humility as weakness. They watched you walk through seasons of struggle and assumed it was a reflection of your worth. They saw your setbacks and concluded you were losing. But what they couldn't see was the spiritual infrastructure being built beneath the surface, the foundations of character, wisdom, discernment, and resilience that God was constructing quietly. You were not losing, you were being prepared. And now the preparation is complete, and the revelation is beginning. God is about to reverse the narrative in your life with such precision that even your deepest wounds will begin to make sense. The delays will reveal themselves as divine timing. The betrayals will reveal themselves as protection. The losses will reveal themselves as spiritual pruning. Every moment you thought was wasted will return to you multiplied. Justice in the hands of God is not merely fair. It is restorative, transformative, and redemptive. And when God brings justice, he does it in a way that lifts the chosen and humbles the proud. In this next unfolding, you will start to notice an unusual alignment of circumstances. People who once ignored your existence will begin to reach out with unfamiliar respect. Opportunities that once eluded you will now seek you out. Situations that once brought confusion will suddenly become clear. You will walk into moments where you can feel the divine orchestration unfolding in real time, where you can sense God moving pieces into place for a breakthrough that feels too precise to be coincidence. This is what happens when a season of justice begins. The spiritual becomes visible. The invisible becomes undeniable. But beyond the external changes, something deeper is happening within you. Your spirit is undergoing a quiet restoration. The fatigue you once carried in your soul is lifting. The heaviness that made it difficult to dream is dissolving. The chains that kept you tied to old identities, old wounds, and old memories are breaking. You are stepping into a version of yourself that feels both new and ancient at the same time. New because you have never walked in this power before. Ancient because your soul always knew this moment would come. There is a profound healing happening in you, one that does not erase the past but redeems it. Think for a moment about how much you endured without losing your softness. That in itself is a miracle. You had every reason to close your heart, yet you kept it open. You had every reason to give up, yet you continued. You had every reason to believe that nothing would change, Yet something inside you still whispered that you were meant for more. That whisper was not your imagination. It was prophecy speaking before it became reality. And now you are standing at the threshold of that prophecy being fulfilled. The reversal that is approaching your life is not just financial. It is spiritual and psychological. God is not merely giving you resources. He is giving you the authority, clarity, and inner stability to sustain them. Wealth without wisdom collapses. Success without healing destroys. Elevation without identity becomes a trap. But you, after everything you've survived, now possess the consciousness to handle your blessings without losing yourself. You have been refined so deeply that what once triggered you no longer has power. What once intimidated you no longer holds influence. What once weakened you now strengthens you. This is the moment where your spirit begins to rise before your circumstances do. You will feel it before you see it. You will sense the shift before the manifestation arrives. This inner recognition is a sign that spiritual justice has already begun. The external confirmation will follow, but the internal awakening is already here. There will come a day soon when you look at your life and realize that the very areas where you once felt powerless have become the areas of your greatest authority. Where you once struggled financially, you will now thrive abundantly. Where you once felt overlooked, you will now be sought out. Where you once walked in confusion, you will now walk with divine clarity. This is not optimism, it is spiritual law. Energy that has been held down will always rise when the pressure is divine. You have been compressed for too long, and now the expansion will be explosive. This is why I need you to recognize something important. Your role in this moment matters, not because God needs your strength, He has already sustained you, but because your participation is the key to aligning with what is unfolding. Stand in your identity, speak with authority, walk with expectation, move like someone who knows that justice is not coming. It has already been set in motion. Your future is not a possibility, it is a decree. And because heaven has decreed your victory, nothing on earth can interfere with it. If your spirit is awakening as you hear this, if you can feel the truth resonating deep within you, then acknowledge it with intention. Claim your identity, declare your readiness, align with the assignment written over your life. Speak it out loud or within your heart. I receive what is mine. I step into what God has prepared. I am ready for the justice that has been promised. This is not about wishing, it is about responding to divine timing, and you are right on schedule. There is a deeper truth woven through your story, one that most people will never fully comprehend because it requires spiritual insight, emotional maturity, and a willingness to accept that your path was never meant to resemble the paths of others. The attacks you faced were not random, not accidental, not coincidental. They were connected to the magnitude of your calling. To understand why your journey has been so intense, you must look beyond the physical world and into the invisible laws that govern spiritual elevation. Every chosen one experiences a level of resistance proportional to their destiny. And in your case, the resistance was fierce because the assignment on your life is extraordinary. From the beginning, you carried an energy that set you apart. Even as a child, you may have felt different, more sensitive, more intuitive, more aware of things you could not explain. You picked up on the emotions of others without trying. You sensed when something was wrong long before anyone said a word. You experienced the world with a depth that others regarded as unusual. This sensitivity was not weakness, it was spiritual intelligence. It was the early sign that your soul carried a mission larger than your earthly environment could recognize. And because others could not understand it, some rejected you, others envied you, and many misunderstood you. People rarely attack what they do not perceive as a threat. Their resistance toward you was not a reflection of your flaws, but a reaction to your potential. Your presence alone disrupted the comfort of those around you because your light exposed their shadows. Your ambition highlighted their complacency. Your kindness confronted their bitterness. Your resilience contradicted the excuses they had made for their own stagnation. Instead of learning from your example, some chose to project their insecurities onto you and to mask their discomfort. They created narratives that made them feel superior while attempting to reduce your value. But even that was part of the divine design. It was necessary for you to experience the psychology of envy, betrayal, and abandonment, because these lessons sharpened your discernment. They trained you to identify the difference between genuine support and concealed competition. They taught you to recognize the subtle forms of sabotage that often come from those who pretend to cheer for you. Most importantly, they prepared you to navigate the world you are about to enter, a world where success magnifies everything, including the intentions of those around you. There is a spiritual law that governs elevation, a paradox that frustrates many who do not understand it. Before God elevates you publicly, He allows you to be attacked privately. Before He crowns you, He permits you to be misunderstood. Before He blesses you, He tests your character. This paradox exists because divine elevation requires spiritual maturity. If you had risen before the attacks, you would not have known how to protect yourself. If you had been celebrated before being betrayed, you would have trusted the wrong people. And if success had found you before suffering did, you would not have developed the empathy that now guides your actions. Your battles were not punishments. They were qualifications. They refined your heart without hardening it. They strengthened your voice without making it arrogant. They deepened your wisdom without extinguishing your compassion. Every hardship sculpted your soul into the form required for your mission. And now, you must recognize that your mission is not to accumulate wealth only for yourself. Wealth is simply a tool. Your true assignment is tied to the transformation of others, those who will learn from your journey, those who will be inspired by your resilience, those who will break their own chains because they witnessed you break yours. You are stepping into a role that extends far beyond financial abundance. You are becoming a generational architect, a spiritual disruptor, a pattern breaker. Every family carries cycles, patterns of belief, behavior, and emotion that repeat until someone is brave enough to confront them. You are that person in your bloodline. You were chosen to interrupt generational lack, to dismantle inherited fear, to break lifelong limitations that were accepted as normal. You were chosen to replace scarcity with abundance, survival with purpose, silence with truth. And this mission required someone with a particular soul, one strong enough to endure adversity, yet soft enough to remain compassionate. Many in your lineage may have carried dreams they never realized. They lacked the support, the opportunity, the mindset, or the spiritual clarity to manifest the life they desired. Their sacrifices, their prayers, and their silent hopes paved the way for you. You are the manifestation of their unfulfilled potential, the one God selected to complete what they could not finish. This is why the pressure on your life felt heavier than it should have been. You were not just carrying your destiny, you were carrying the weight of generational evolution. When you understand this, the attacks begin to make sense. The enemy does not fight you because of where you have been. He fights you because of where you are going. The forces that opposed you were attempting to block the awakening of your true identity. They knew that once you recognized who you are, once you stepped into the authority written into your spirit, nothing could stop you from rising. And now you are reaching that moment, the moment when clarity replaces confusion, when strength replaces fear, when purpose replaces hesitation. Another paradox of the spiritual journey is that those who carry the most light often experience the most darkness. This is because light must be strengthened before it is expanded. You were tested in isolation so that you could learn what voices to trust. You were stretched emotionally so that you would develop inner stability. You were taken through seasons of lack so that abundance would not corrupt you. You were broken open so that compassion could flow from a place that is pure, not performative. All of these experiences were essential because they created the version of you that can now walk into greatness without losing yourself. The psychology of the attacks you endured reveals another truth. People often resist what reminds them of their own unfulfilled callings. When they saw your potential, they felt threatened. When they witnessed your strength, they felt exposed. When they sensed your destiny, even if they couldn't articulate it, they felt inferior. Their behavior had nothing to do with your flaws and everything to do with their fear of your power. And now, as God prepares to elevate you, these same individuals will be forced to confront the reality that you were never the problem. You were the prophecy. As you rise, remember this. Your mission is not to prove them wrong, but to fulfill what God placed within you. Your life is shifting into alignment with your soul's purpose. The abundance coming your way is not accidental, it is assigned. The influence you are stepping into is not random. It is inherited from the spiritual lineage of warriors who came before you. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. You are the turning point in your bloodline. Your soul agreed to this mission long before you arrived in this world. And now, after everything you've survived, you are finally ready to step into it. You have reached a turning point in your story, a moment where the weight of everything you have endured begins to loosen its grip. You can feel it somewhere deep in your spirit, like a quiet expansion happening inside you, subtle but undeniable. This is what it feels like when destiny starts to unfold without resistance. This is what it feels like when heaven begins to move on your behalf openly, deliberately, and unmistakably. You are stepping into a chapter where you no longer have to explain who you are, defend your worth, or justify your vision. The path ahead will reveal what your words never could. Your rise will speak for you. Everything you have survived was preparation for this moment, and now the preparation is complete. You are no longer the version of yourself who questions your value. You are no longer the person who wonders why life feels heavier for you than for others. You are no longer living from a place of fear or doubt. Your spirit has been reshaped. Your identity has been refined. You have gained spiritual authority that cannot be taken, borrowed, or diminished. It was earned through endurance, solidified through hardship, and confirmed through divine alignment. You are the chosen one in your bloodline, the one heaven trusted to carry the assignment that others were not prepared to bear. You were not chosen because you were the strongest. You became the strongest because you were chosen. There is a profound difference. God saw something in you long before you ever recognized it in yourself. He saw the purity of your heart, the depth of your compassion, the strength hidden beneath your wounds. He saw the way you continued to love despite being hurt, the way you continued to hope despite disappointment, the way you continued to rise despite every attempt to bring you down. These qualities are not common. They are rare, sacred, and powerful. And they are the reason abundance is being released into your life now. Your future is expanding in ways that exceed your imagination. The resources that eluded your family for generations will now flow through you. The opportunities that were once inaccessible will become natural extensions of your path. The success that once felt distant will feel like an inevitability. You are the beginning of a new financial era in your lineage. You are the correction to patterns that once seemed permanent. You are the living proof that divine intervention is not just a concept, but a reality, a force that reshapes lives when the time is right. And the time is right. As you move forward, walk with calm confidence. Not arrogance, not urgency, confidence. The kind that comes from knowing your steps are guided, your spirit is protected, and your path is already blessed. You do not have to rush, fear, or force your destiny. What is written for you cannot be stolen, delayed, or denied. It will unfold exactly as it was meant to, and your only responsibility is to remain aligned, awake, and willing to receive what God places before you. You are not rising alone. Your elevation will bless people you have never met. It will break spiritual ceilings for generations after you. It will turn the prayers of your ancestors into manifestation. You are the bridge between their hope and your family's future. And as you move into prosperity, remember the truth that has carried you through every season. Abundance is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to flow. Your wealth will not be accidental. It will be purposeful. It will elevate not only your life, but the lives of those who are connected to your mission. If your spirit feels open in this moment, if you sense the truth of these words resonating at a depth you cannot fully explain, then allow yourself to acknowledge what is happening. You are waking up to who you truly are. You are accepting the mantle that was always meant for you. You are embracing the identity that life tried to make you forget. Speak it softly or boldly, but speak it. I am the one chosen to rise. I am the one chosen to break the cycles. I am the one chosen to walk into overflow. Let these words settle into your soul. Let them become a declaration that aligns you with what heaven has already prepared. And as a final act of agreement, take a moment, whether silently or aloud, to affirm your readiness. Not desperation, not longing, readiness. This is your spiritual call to action. This is your participation in the prophecy written over your life. You are stepping into abundance with a clear mind and a healed spirit. You are walking into purpose with strength that cannot be shaken. You are entering a season where everything that once worked against you will now work for you. And as you rise, your story will no longer be defined by struggle, but by victory, transformation, and divine favor. Your journey is only beginning, and the most extraordinary chapters are still ahead. Walk forward with expectation. Walk forward with gratitude. Walk forward knowing you are seen, guided, and chosen. And as you continue on this path, may your spirit remain steady, your purpose remain clear, and your heart remain open to every blessing that is now coming toward you. This is your time. This is your rise. This is your destiny unfolding.